Hello, hello, YouTube. This is Crispy coming at you with another YouTube video. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday. I just got back from my own Christmas celebration out in Auburn, New York, so we drove about 8 hours there on Monday and came back today, another 8 hours back. So now I'm back in Michigan just doing a review here, and today I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I saw very recently in theaters, and that would be The Hunger Games Part 2, Catching Fire. Now this movie is based on the Hunger Games book series by Suzanne Collins. And I'm going to say right now, if you have not read the first book or seen the first movie, The Hunger Games, probably shouldn't watch this video. Unless you just don't mind getting spoiled, unless you're really not going to watch it, you have no intention of watching it, then go ahead. I'll try and keep spoilers on the second movie pretty light, because I know that there are probably going to be some people watching this who haven't seen the second movie, so yeah. Now, I'll say right from the beginning, my experience with The Hunger Games is that I read the first book and really liked it. I really like the survival aspects of it, the descriptions from Katniss's point of view as she's trying to make it through this forest. And I thought that definitely the focus on how she was going to get through the next situation really heightened the book. And as far as the movie adaptation went, I thought it was a really good job too. Now, I didn't see the movie in theaters. I saw that one on HBO or something, but I enjoyed it. I thought the acting was very good. And I was pretty excited for the second one. So, having seen the second one, here's basically what I think. First of all, the movie starts off right where the first one left off, okay? Katniss and Peeta have successfully conquered the Hunger Games. They managed to get off together. You know, both got a victory. And now they're kind of doing their own thing. Katniss is hanging out with that hunter kid, Gale, again. And she's just going around hunting. And I guess Peeta is doing whatever with his family. Woody Harrelson's character, Haymitch, is getting drunk. And basically the government's pretty pissed off that two people won the Hunger Games. Because now everybody's getting all this hopeful stuff about, oh, we can defy the government and maybe have an actual good life. So the government isn't too happy about that. So they start off the movie trying to get Katniss and Peeta to go around big-upping the government and pretending like, oh, yeah, we're all in one big team and trying to get them in with the government. But that doesn't go over so well. Eventually, President Snow is like, okay, we got to kill these guys. We're going to put them back in the Hunger Games. And we're going to put them in the Hunger Games against 22 other winners of the Hunger Games, right? So instead of fighting against a bunch of kids, Katniss and Peeta are going up against some very tough adults. And that's the basic plot of the movie. And I'm going to try and stay away from any other details. Hopefully it doesn't get too spoilery. So let me go into what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie. First of all, I really like the acting. I think that Jennifer Lawrence has really improved as an actress. And I do think that she captures kind of the split nature of Katniss really well. Now, in the first book and in the first movie, there's definitely an element of Katniss is doing what she needs to do to survive, and to an extent, she's sort of oblivious about, you know, how the other characters view her, that basically they view her as this very strong individual. She's definitely oblivious to Peeta, and I kind of oblivious to her own feelings about him, too. There's a sense in the first movie, and in the first book especially, that this is somebody she does care about, but maybe somebody that she won't let herself care about, of course. Now, there's always the ever-present threat that she's going to have to kill him, and that's constantly in the back of her mind. She can't get too attached. Now, in the second movie, that element is definitely still there, to a much less extent, but I still think the acting is very good. The guy who plays Peeta, I don't know his name, he kind of looks like Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter movies. He does a pretty good job, too. Like the first movie, I thought Woody Harrelson steals it in every scene he's in. He's really good. He really captures it, and Haymitch is just a great character. So I really like the characters. The setting is fantastic. When they return to any part of the world, they show the city, the capital city. It's beautiful. The technology is really cool. Pretty much anything having to do with the setting, I really liked. Getting to see the other districts was a nice change of pace, because in the first movie, you really only get to see District 12 and the capital city and then the forest that they all go fight in. And in this movie, you get to see at least a little bit of the other districts, even if they're mostly the same. Now, the actual arena setting, I don't think it was all that different from the first movie. I was expecting a different environment, but again, I haven't read the second book. Maybe it's just the same there. So, you know, there's a lot in this movie that maybe it's just how the second book was, and that's how they adapted it. I really couldn't say. So I really like those elements. Things I didn't like about the movie, too long. It is too long. It's like 2.5 hours. In my opinion, that could be cut down a lot. Now, the pacing is pretty good, in my opinion. The first half of the movie drags a little slowly. I think there are a lot of rehashed scenes. And a lot of these scenes, not only are they rehashed, but they're rehashed in a way that feels like they're bringing stuff back from the first movie, right? So you have the interview guy. He's kind of like Jay Leno or what have you. He goes around and interviews them, and you see him about 2 or 3 times at the beginning of the movie, and all those scenes feel really similar. And some of them feel almost like rips from the first movie. And actually, yeah, the first half of the movie is pretty repetitive. Like, a lot of it's just, oh, Katniss is despairing and going through some tough times. Oh, the world is all crappy because it's the Hunger Games world. Oh, the government isn't too happy about those guys winning. And it goes that way in circles for a little while. I think once you get to the main conflict and start meeting some of the other winners, then the movie really picks up. You get some great characters in there. The training montage and the whole evaluation room thing, as always, that's a great scene. And yeah, I really think the movie picks up in the second half. I also was not too crazy about the ending to this one, and I don't want to get too much into it, but I'm just going to say that I'd say for the last 15 minutes or so, all I had was questions. Like, all I had was questions. I was like, why did that happen? What was this do? What was this doing? And I don't know. The ending just didn't work for me. I thought there was some questions that needed to be answered there. Definitely some explanation needed. It felt kind of rushed. And finally, the one thing I didn't like about the movie that I think could have been done a little better is there were some plot threads that I thought were kind of hinted at, maybe some conflicts that they were going to have, that didn't really pan out. But all in all, I really liked the movie. I thought it was a good sequel to the first one. I definitely did think the original Hunger Games movie was better than this one. I did feel like a lot of this movie was a rehash of the first one. But with that said, it was still a really enjoyable popcorn flick. And I would still very much recommend that anybody go see it, even in theaters, if you can. If it's still in theaters by the time you see this, go see it. If it's not, then go ahead and rent it. Yeah, these are some great movies, in my opinion. Just some good action movies, good action and drama. And honestly, the strength of these movies is that they focus on the characters. They always focus on the character interactions more than the actual action or whatever is going to happen next. So that's a nice change of pace from a lot of these dumb action movies that we get. So if I gave the first movie around an 8 out of 10, which I'd say is pretty fair, I would say that this one is a solid 7, and it would have been higher if not for the ending. I thought the ending was pretty weak, but, it's the second movie in a trilogy. I'm sure the third one's going to be coming back pretty strong, so I look forward to seeing it. I think it's going to be called Mockingjay, and I'll bet it's going to be around either next year or the year after, so yeah, looking forward to it, and thanks for watching another one of my videos. You guys take care.